Is it live?
From Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs, welcome to the Monday edition of Live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handgriff along with Jimmy Ott. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Kind of a wet and overcast day here, but a lot of excitement on the LSU campus because in about an hour, Will Wade will be officially announced as LSU's new basketball coach. And we will cover that, carry that for you live in the next hour. So we'll see what Will has to say. Yeah, make it official. And I don't know if it's anything like the first time he was hired. There'll be a lot of enthusiasm in the place. They're giving out T-shirts to the students when they come in, and I don't know what kind of other crowd you'll have. It is in the middle of the day, but I would imagine there'll be a decent crowd in there for this. This is something that the fans seem pretty excited about.
I think they're very excited, and I think the students, why not go as well? If it a little break in your classes, if that is allowed. So I mean, it's just going to be.
Go get your free T-shirt.
It's hey man, everybody's good for a good free T-shirt. You know, a Will Wade T-shirt and. Of course, how many years ago when it was at the student union and they were giving away free hamburgers and stuff? Yeah. So I don't know whose idea it was, but I'm sure that Will Wade had to give its blessings here. He understands that back in the, as he takes over a program in shambles. That's what I love. No, now it's in shambles. Will Wade did not leave the program in shambles. I love that freaking line. That is like over and over. The same program he left in shambles. No, he went to how many straight tournaments and we forced him out?
He went to
3?
4. Well, 4 if you count the COVID year.
Yes,
it would have been 4 years.
Absolutely.
When Will Wade left the program and everybody transferred out, that was a new thing that you had to start over. And so it hit hard because we had never seen anything like that before where a team didn't have any players in the locker room when he left. And then you had the probation, which was, in retrospect, pretty mild compared to some of the probations in the past, certainly compared to the probation that John Brady inherited back in the late 90s. Now that is fairly commonplace. We did the little survey at the beginning of the season about who was bringing back the most players in the Southeastern Conference, and I think the Florida and Missouri each had 5, and that was it. Everybody else was retooling for more than 5, or less than 5 coming back. And if you saw what Dusty May said in the post game from Michigan, they asked him about one of his players being contacted by another school, and they're not done playing yet, and he said, I told the agent, I understand. You know, if you're not shopping your client, you're not doing your job. He goes, that's how it goes. He said 90% of the players right now are shopping for next year. He said the good ones. He goes, I get it. He says everybody's on a 1-year contract. He said and the coaches too. It was a incredibly reasoned response to something that people get really emotional. You're leaving us, or you're abandoning us, or that's the game now, like it or not. And I'm not wild about it. I'm not crazy about everybody transferring every single year. I'm not crazy about kids going to 4 schools in 4 years. But this is the rules that we're playing by.
Hate the player, not the game.
Yeah,
don't hate the game. Whatever. They don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. The thing is, but I just heard that it's kind of like that narrative now. It's in it. Will Wade left the program in shambles. Did Will Wade leave the program in any better? I mean, he went to NIT 1 year and went to the tournament the other 4. I mean, was there more interest in basketball when he left or when he took over? I mean, is there more interest now since McMahon? And the other, McMahon never had a chance.
No, that's where you lose me. If you want to say he was in a bad look, there were no players and they were on probation. Okay, that's not optimum. I get it. Shambles may be a little bit tough, but yeah, it wasn't the best. I get it, but the idea that loomed over the program for more than a year is just not paying attention to the landscape of college basketball. You want to say that's why I gave him a pass in the first year. You didn't. I did. I said, okay, look,
Because I knew he wasn't hustling.
Okay, well, and that became apparent.
Okay.
So you were ahead of the curve on that. I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
But to say that held over, the amount of excuses that, oh, well, he inherited a program with no players, that works for a year now, okay? And if he would have gotten the job 2 years later with no players, everybody would have said, well, everybody's dealing with that. Go look at some of the other schools that are changing coaches. I doubt any of them bring back more than a handful of players, and some of them may not have any, including the one that is here. I'm not certain that anybody on last year's roster is going to be on next year's roster. So that's commonplace. It's the same thing with the injuries. Oh, well, he had all these injuries. We went through that, okay? He had some injury problems, but it wasn't like what happened to Hubert Davis at North Carolina. He didn't lose a lottery pick.
No.
Okay?
No.
Yes, there's a little bit of that, but it got repeated so often that it got exaggerated.
Like, was it Stackhouse or Drew that lost Garland?
I think that was Drew.
Okay, we got fired.
Yes, he did.
That's a real, that's a real injury.
If Hubert Davis would have
Casualty.
went there and said, "Hey, listen, I lost my best player with 8 games to go." Yeah, we were in a bind. That guy's hard to replace.
Well, they're tired of squeaking into the tournament. Yeah, that's North Carolina.
That's North Carolina.
That's right.
It's
That's a
different.
top 3 job. This is not LSU's just happy to. Hey, listen, Will Wade is 3-8 in the tournament. 3-8. I mean, but going taking 4 different schools to the tournament, 8 out of 9 years. We'll gladly take it.
Yeah.
Gladly take it.
That's what some of the detractors are saying too. Is that, well, you might not win a championship with that guy. Maybe they won't. Okay, yeah. Who can LSU possibly hire that would be guaranteed to take them to the Final Four? I mean, come on, going to the Final Four. If you're at a good program, is really hard. I was astonished, and maybe I shouldn't have been because I follow this stuff pretty good, to see that Arizona has not been to the Final Four. Arizona is a really good basketball program. Hadn't been to the Final Four in 25 years. Yeah. And Michigan hasn't been in 20. I'm sorry, Illinois. Illinois hasn't been in 20. Also a pretty good basketball program. LSU's been more recently than either one of those before this coming weekend. So that's hard. I like your term about Tennessee's never been.
Alabama just went to their first one.
Yeah.
Auburn just went to their first ones.
So I'm not guaranteed, I'm not guaranteed that Will Wade's going to take LSU to the Final Four, but Will Wade will have them competitive. They'll be playing, what'd you say, relevant basketball in March?
Every game I've seen him coach is something on the line in March.
Yeah.
Something on the line in March. Seeding, getting in, trying to whatever. Something on SEC championship, outright. Something's on the line. Something is on the line. I still remember, listen, man, you had to go in that building. And that's just, the last 2 years have been so sorry.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. You want to talk about embarrassing? When some people were trying, the Will Wade critics, he embarrassed the school. No, this is embarrassing. This is the building named after Pete Maravich. It's the building with Shaq outside and Bob Pettit. It's the building that just CJ, lit up. No. So, and he does have a little bit of a Dale Brown sort of,
Yeah.
He's gonna give you a chance. He's gonna get you into the tournament more times than not. But maybe there's been some limitations on, sometimes we don't do the smartest right. But LSU basketball standards and LSU football, LSU baseball standards are completely different. It's hard to win basketball games here, man. It's hard.
And it's harder now than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago in the league wasn't very good 10 years ago.
Yeah,
the league is much, much tougher now than it was.
Tennessee just went to their 3rd straight Elite Eight.
And Florida won
9 games.
And Florida won the national championship last year. They were a 1 seed this year. They hired a coach the same year LSU did, okay? And now they're there. You bring Oklahoma and Texas into the league. I thought Oklahoma would be a little bit better. I suspect that they will be eventually. But Texas, that's a quality basketball program. And
Oh, well, they got a coach that can, he's right there with Will as far as, going through this stuff and lost to, Arizona's a great job, and, he may take the North Carolina job. He may, but that's a great job. And he was, he's his ninth Sweet 16.
9.
Miller.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. He's still relatively, he's got some gas left in the tank.
And all of these programs in the league they're coach dependent, in my opinion, with the exception maybe of Kentucky, and maybe even you put them in there. We've seen LSU be really good and really bad. We've seen Alabama be really good and really bad. Same thing with Auburn and Florida and Tennessee and Georgia. We've seen all of these teams go up and down based on how good the coach was. There's one heritage program in the league, and that's Kentucky. Maybe Arkansas, but that's the one heritage.
No, just anybody can't go to Arkansas and win. You're right. Everybody but Kentucky.
Everybody
and I
but
will take it a
Kentucky.
step further. I think that some programs in the SEC, you need somebody special to win, like this one.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
This one.
I don't know.
Texas A&M.
Florida. Donovan won a title, and now Golden has won a title. In between there,
Horrendous.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. They weren't anything special.
No.
for sure.
You're right. You're right. Vanderbilt, obviously. Yeah, pretty much. Missouri. Pretty much.
How much different was Auburn? Maybe Auburn is the poster child. You bring in
Auburn, without a doubt.
Bruce Pearl. Okay, that's a heavyweight. But before that, you got to go back to the 2000 team with Chris Porter and them.
Auburn is clearly only one coach can do it. They got that's a place where most coaches go to die.
Yeah.
No. And Stephen Pearl, I don't give him much chance. He didn't even make the tournament his first year. It's only going to get tougher.
Yeah. With a little bit of a difference. If they would have known that he was coaching and not Bruce, they probably would have scheduled it differently. They wouldn't have scheduled
their NET wouldn't have been as strong.
It wouldn't have been, but we did that when we got to Selection Sunday. If you would have pulled out just 2 of those, and they played, 5 top 8 teams or top 10 teams? If you pull out 2 of those and put in 2 rental wins, they probably get in the tournament. Because the 16 losses was what really hamstrung them.
Before Bruce Pearl got there, that was one of the worst atmospheres in college basketball.
Right. And then
for a while.
They built a new arena.
No. With the new arena.
Yeah.
With the new arena. Tony Barbee was in there, and he flamed out. Couldn't do anything. No, with the new arena.
They were bad. So we're looking forward to hearing from Will Wade. We'll have that for you next hour.
A lot of people talking about the video of him getting off the plane and like he was released from prison or something, or he had come back from war or something. It was a little much.
I thought he was emotional, and I get that.
But still, that video of a guy, the whole thing. What coach goes back to the place where he was fired?
Oh, it almost never happens. Almost never happens.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't happen. Okay, so there are some unique aspects to this whole thing. I get it, and there's some, but in the end, bro, was this number 1 on your list? Will Wade might not be as good as a lot of other candidates at Missouri, at Texas, but at LSU, he's more valuable to LSU than just about anybody else. Fair?
Yes.
And so in LSU's basketball program, all you have to do is go there any time the last 2 years. Pick any date. Are they desperate? Yes. And who's the guy to kind of spark some fire and get a desperate program and just make us relevant? We're Kentucky football. LSU basketball is Kentucky football. Most guys are going to fail. You're going to have a ceiling, but because you have so many overlapping heavyweights. I mean, you're third in your own building. It ain't even close. Man, it's just so there's a lot of excitement. Screw the rest. We got our number 1 guy. Lane Kiffin. Is he for everybody? Absolutely not. But we saw him do it. Never should Ole Miss look LSU in the eye. Not only did they look them in the eye in football, they surpassed them. Should never happen. Well, who was our 2 years ago? We're talking to humans. Who's our number 1 on the list if Brian Kelly doesn't make it? Lane Kiffin. So who cares how you going to? We ain't in the process of it. And I love my boy. It was a parents' weekend, Charlie. My boy from Raleigh, big NC State guy, comes up and we had it's a watch party for Alabama and Michigan, whatever, and we're having a good time. And the guy pulls up and man, the first thing he does, he gives me a big old smile and flips me off.
You're number one.
It's like basically, but he's got a career. He's a very successful guy, sharp guy. Basically, y'all got us. Y'all got us. We didn't want him to leave. He wasn't perfect, but they weren't ready for him to leave. I can tell you that.
And the fan base here would have felt spurned if that would have happened with one of their guys. They felt spurned when Saban left here, and he left for an NFL job. There was no question that was, it's an NFL job, okay? At that time, come on. We're here at Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. It's Monday night, so all-you-can-eat boiled shrimp starting at 5 o'clock. We got on Wednesday night, if you prefer wings, it's wings, dollar wings every Wednesday night, line dancing every Wednesday night, live music on the weekends. We got ball crawfish and happy hour every day from 3 until 7 p.m. One of the best happy hours around with $2.50 domestic beers, bottled and draft, and $4 wells and $5 wines. And it's all day on Sunday starting at 11 o'clock. So if you're coming in to watch any of the sports, get college baseball on. The Masters is next week. In 2 weeks, the Final Four is next week. Come on in and watch in the sports bar here. Great viewing opportunities here, the huge screens. They're fantastic here at Big Mike's. Stop on in for lunch, stop in for a cocktail after work here on Aspen Square in Denham Springs. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baton Rouge, get ready for a fiesta of flavor. Whether you're craving sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, or the best margaritas in town, Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill have you covered. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring your appetite. From fresh guacamole to mouth-watering tacos that hit just right, it's not just a dinner, it's a celebration. So why wait? Tonight, make it Las Palmas or make it Rio Cantina, two local favorites serving up authentic Mexican taste right here in Baton Rouge. Las Palmas Mexican Grill and Rio Cantina Mexican Grill, where every night's a fiesta.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. New Handycast will drop this afternoon on YouTube. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Go to SupremeRice.com. It seems like it's been a really long weekend. It seems like a lot of stuff happened this weekend because the shot that Duke hit to knock the LSU women out on Friday night feels like it happened about a month ago. But that's what happened. Duke, with 2.6 seconds to go, inbounds the ball. They hit a three, and they ended LSU's season. Yesterday, UCLA knocked Duke out, the women. The men got knocked out on a shot that Jimmy, I got to believe that this one's going to be up there when they play, the highlight films of great shots in the history of the NCAA tournament. Duke's been up there for some on the good side. Leitner against Kentucky, of course. Leitner against the same UConn 2 years before that. Keith Smart to win the championship. Scott Drew, against Ole Miss. This one's going to be there because Duke.
Jordan
to win the national championship, in the Superdome. This one will be right there because of how it happened, because of who's in this game. These two, true, absolute blue bloods of blue bloods, and the way it came down at the end. I think I told you my sister-in-law went to graduate school at Duke, and she called me after the game. She said, "What happened? What happened in the last 10 seconds of this game?" Because it still seems, even a day later, it still seems surreal that UConn was able to do what they did to get that shot off to win the game.
A lot of things, and man, UConn stumbles into this whole thing down the stretch. I mean, they're down 3. They call a timeout with 27 seconds to go. They can't get a shot off. And Duke fouls them with 10 seconds to go. They let 7 precious seconds, run off the clock. They miss the first free throw. They hit the second one, and then they inbound the ball with 10 seconds to go. And they let them get off multiple passes without fouling. Letting precious seconds go off the clock again. Caravan gets it. He's a guy that's had every clutch shot. There's no doubt he's taken a shot, and it was wise for him that even as he's the guy who, when Michigan State came from 19 down to pull it within 1 with a minute to go, he knocks down a key 3. In this game, when it is a 4-point game with 51 seconds to go, he knocks down the 3 to cut it to 1 to put him in position. So everybody in the building thinks he's shooting, and he just didn't feel comfortable with the guy that was on him, had a little length. And he thought it might be tough, and he switches it over to a guy who shot 21% from 3 for the season, who was 0 for 6 from 3 on this one, and it's nothing but net.
From the logo.
31 feet. Yeah.
30.
This is a team that did not put away. I mean, they played really good for most of the first half. Let them trickle back into it just a little bit, cut it to 15 at half, got it to 11, and like, man, they're 1 for 17 from 3, and they're not that far away.
Right, if they ever start hitting
They're
some
not
shots.
that far away. And, this, Hurley, who's really, really tough to like, he's now 17-1 against the spread and straight up his last 18 games in the tournament.
Wow.
17-1. The two national championships, they covered the spread every time. They blasted everybody. Last year in the second round, when they lost, they gave the national champion all they could handle. Clayton Jr. had to bail Florida out in that one with some more heroics. And here you go in this one. So, and then Shire, who gets all the roses thrown his way, but in North Carolina's making a switch. That's one of the reasons, because Shire's killing them in recruiting. But look at the players he has lost with in the tournament, and lost 14-point lead last year late to Houston, a 21-point lead yesterday. I mean, it's just they have really and didn't handle it well. And they had a lot of timeouts. There was just, I think he was, the little boozer was, because they got away with 2 passes already, they were just kind of like, they thought they could almost run the whole clock out. And they were close to doing it, Charles.
Yeah.
So, because most times, man, you just can't take any chance in that situation of turning the ball over. So they had plenty of timeouts if they got in trouble, but it's like, I'm watching an MLB game yesterday, and a guy in a 2-run game, 1 run scores, and the other guy gets thrown out. I think it was for the Mets, Lindor. He gets thrown out at home with nobody out. He's a tie and run. Man, stay at third with nobody out. So, it's just kind of an unnecessary risk by the Boozer kid, and they're beating themselves up. They know they blew it. They can't turn the ball over in that situation. But no, that is unbelievable. I mean, they stole it. They stole it from Duke yesterday. But Hurley showed again that they can win games in other areas just being hot from the perimeter.
Boozer has got a great shot to be the Naismith Player of the Year, which would be back-to-back years that Duke had it with Cooper Flagg last year. And this is twice now that they've got knocked out of the tournament, essentially on an inbounds play. Is that what we're going to call, this?
Yeah, basically, just turning it over. Yeah.
This is situational basketball at its finest. He with the 10 seconds is important, because if it's 12, okay, well you got to get the ball in the front court, but it's 10, so you don't.
You run the whole thing out in the back.
You can run the whole thing out in the back court. It's another pass is not necessary, and everybody's asking the same question: why didn't you just hold the ball? And
one element. They were still in the 1-and-1, and they don't shoot free throws well. That was still, they didn't really want to go to that line.
But they had to know, Jimmy, that they weren't going to let getting 10 seconds to run off the clock without getting fouled.
I'm just adding all the pieces to the puzzle, Charlie.
And the possession arrow.
They don't shoot free throws well. For a team that is that skilled, they don't. And so they're still in the 1-and-1. It's one of those things. A double bonus, that takes a lot of pressure off. But I'm just trying to say, because they were really, they were quick to get out, and they were doing a great job, but you can't. Those were clean passes. Those weren't really risky, the first couple.
Right.
But you never throw it over the top in trouble. So you got.
And if he does get the ball over, you're not selling out. Yeah, well, they can dunk it, or they can just run the clock out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But the ball gets.
You heard what the freshman said? Who hit the shot? Said, did you know it was 2 or a 3-point lead? He says, I thought that shot was to tie it up.
Oh, wow. And he didn't hesitate. He didn't have time to hesitate. I don't think he's got time.
No, he said, I know at that spot we might not get a shot off if I don't shoot it.
Right.
So he did have situational awareness. So like, no, I got to shoot it. And especially if Caravan throws it to you, if he gives it up, you better shoot it.
Yeah, because and Caravan said that he saw Boozer coming, okay, who's got,
there was a guy on him with some length. I'm not sure if it was Boozer or not. I apologize about that.
I think Boozer was in the area. he was aware of where he was.
But there was a guy who was
There's
guarding
another
him.
guy, yeah.
He might not have even gotten it off, or it would have been greatly affected because everybody knows, and everybody on that team knows, and the coach knows. If you watch him, knows he already hit 2 huge shots. Man, look, they were on, Duke was on the ropes in St. John's too. Trail for most of that. Patino, man, those guys played great. Well, that's 2 really good coaches, and to Duke's defense here, they had the toughest regional. Had they gotten out of it, they would have been in a favorable position because Arizona and Michigan's on the other side. But playing a Patino team and a Hurley team back to back is tough.
We had 2 favorites on Saturday, trailed early, trailed at the half, and really started to wear on them right about the second media time, right over the 12-minute mark of the second half, and then they overcame and surged. And then the first game on Sunday was a walk for Michigan.
Well, Iowa hung in there way longer. The under 8-minute timeout, they got the lead.
Yeah.
They got the lead. Now, Arizona, in that game, man, they're down 7, and immediately that lead is gone 2 minutes in, and it was just Arizona flexing their muscles. They were much better. I thought about you, though, Charlie. You should have told your sister-in-law. I never felt like Duke was going to lose.
She was not in the mood for that yesterday.
Because you didn't, huh?
She did say she rooted for. She went to undergrad at LSU, so she said on Friday night she was rooting for the LSU ladies. So I said, okay, well I'm gonna cut you some slack.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional service is what you get with our long-standing staff. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title. 296-0060.
Live at Big Mike's in Denham Springs. Live at Lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at Lunch. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. For AC and heating, generators, electricity, plumbing, and more, Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all these needs. One of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies. Since 1980, their slogan has been service today, every day, so no one ever has to go to sleep hot. They're an authorized dealer for Carrier, American Standard, Daikin, and Rheem AC units, for Generac and Cummins generators as well. And now, for all of your electrical and plumbing needs, in Baton Rouge, call 480-1000. In New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day. Total Maintenance.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance. And Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988. Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Here at Big Mike Sports Bar and Grill again at 12 o'clock, we will have the Will Wade introductory press conference at the Maravich Assembly Center.
Troy, what's your takeaway from the weekend, man?
That this has been the best college basketball season of my life. The tournament has lived up to it. I've been covering this sport for just over 15 years. I've been obsessed with it since I was 5 years old in 1990. I said it all year long. Like, more often than not, than when the really good teams play each other, we get amazing games. And yes, certainly, there's a blowout that got out of hand late, but like the good games have been great. And we obviously saw that Sunday night with that crazy finish to UConn Duke.
So even with the Cinderella being severely wounded in this whole thing, and a lot of times not even competitive. It's 67 games. There's going to be some good ones in there. There's no doubt. So one of the best, you think, though, that you can remember.
There was, I would say, like the first weekend of 2010 was incredible. I think that was the year we got Xavier, Stu Holloway, Kansas State game, which is amazing. I think we got a BYU Florida game that was amazing. But when you add this tournament to the season, it's been incredible. We didn't have big Cinderellas, but I'll take Siena against Duke. Like that was enough of it. Santa Clara was there, and the ball bouncing off the backboard for Kentucky.
Right.
So just the quality of games, the competitiveness, and just the finishes have been amazing.
That's interesting because your team is a Big East team, and look, the shift in college basketball as far as the hierarchy goes and the resources. The Big East has been severely wounded as well. There's just so many teams that are below their form of. There's 5 or 6 of them that are not close to what they were just 3-4 years ago. So, I think it delivers, man. It's just there's so much more emotion in the games, man. There's just so much more. It's imperfect too. We talk about some NBA guys. How do they do this? Well, I don't know what you compare it to, Charlie, as far as turning it over. The only one I could think of in this spot was like when Bird stole the ball against the Pistons in Game 5, in that divisional series. A long time, a steal and a bucket. We've seen it in some of the women's games and things like that. But Troy, you're a college basketball historian as well. Can you remember when a team in a tournament or a postseason, got a steal, when they're losing and laid it up for the bucket?
Yeah, we don't have to go very far. We can go last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Furman, UVA. Damn near same play. UVA, I think it might have been tied, but UVA trying to get the ball up court, tries to, pass from the near side across the middle of the court, gets picked off, and Furman hits a three-pointer and wins the game. I think there was like 2 seconds left. Obviously, as a Big East fan and as a Georgetown fan, There's the Freddie Brown play in 1982 where he passed the ball to James Worthy, who was on the other team with about 7 seconds to go, down 2. Now, granted, they were losing, so they would have needed that to
they were down. They weren't protecting the lead
Yeah.
and turned it over. Yes, I was in the building that night. So
NBA Furman. It was damn near the same play, and I think that was last year.
I can't remember if they were winning with the lead or not. So certainly not in a regional final. But we do remember back in 1990 when, there's a little payback here, when in overtime at the Meadowlands, UConn has a 1-point lead over Duke with 2.6 seconds to go. Leitner, they don't defend the Calhoun decides not to defend the inbounder. He inbounds it. He gets it right back in about a 16-17 double clutcher from the left wing that goes in at the buzzer to beat UConn. So UConn's been waiting a long time to deliver a little payback for this one. What about Shire? Choke, blown leads here. I mean, certainly, in position, or some collapses, there's no doubt. 14-point lead in the Final Four last year against Houston. Was it 19 or 21 yesterday?
Yeah, so, I mean, certainly criticism is warranted. If you look at their last 4 wins, they've held a double-digit lead in all of them and blown them. Or last 4 losses, the UNC game, they blew a big lead. They blew a big lead, obviously, Houston. So the difference I will make in what happened last night to the Houston game in the Final Four last year is I think Houston took it from them far more than they gave it to them. Now, UConn didn't take it from them, but I do think Duke gave them the opportunity to steal it from them. The turnovers by both losers, I think they had 3 in the last 2 minutes combined. Obviously, the pass in the middle of the court being a big one. That was a game that Duke gave away far more than I thought they could. UConn, but that's the thing is, I saw a tweet that's like, well, does this mean that, what the one and done doesn't work? Obviously, we had Anthony Davis at Kentucky and Duke's come up short. But it's like, we look at this differently. We look at it as you should win the championship as opposed to making Final Fours is still an incredibly hard task. Winning ACC championships and tournaments are an incredibly hard task. But the trade-off of freshmen is they don't have the muscle memory. It doesn't matter how many Peach Jams or EYBLs you play in. You don't have the experience of having to make that pass in that spot after blowing a lead like you did, and you feel like you're drowning where there's nothing you can do to get it back. How do you make a pass like that? What you know what to do, and it's a pretty simple fix. You take a breath, you pump fake, you step to the side, and you make a side bounce pass to your opponent. But you haven't been there before, so I do think Shire's not a fiery guy. I don't know what his halftime speeches are like. I do think there is absolutely some criticism warranted towards his coaching style about getting his team locked in and being, tough as nails with the lead with 6 minutes to go, because they've shown that they're very susceptible to just playing with the screws and throwing up on the court. And
they did get their point guard back, Charlie. I mean, he's fine. Friday and yesterday, so they got their starting point guard back, and it was. It was a big because they kind of show they coming into this weekend without him. They showed a little vulnerability. They played with their food a little bit. So
and we thought that he would be compromised.
He did. If you didn't know,
no,
you couldn't tell.
Somebody 3 weeks off a foot surgery.
Yeah, if you didn't know, you couldn't tell. Troy to the weekend in regional finals, even though the struggles where Iowa was covering most of the game, but Illinois pulls away in the last 8 minutes. At halftime. Arizona is down to Purdue by 7, but, man, they blow them out in the second half. And then Michigan destroys Tennessee. Chalk, and then Chalk is winning again for most of the game before the UConn comeback. Where was the handle at most of the weekend?
Yeah, and the first 3 games it was on the favorite to cover and win outright, but to cover, Arizona was, other than Duke to cover, we took more money on Arizona to cover. And the reason we took more money on Duke is we took 2 very, very large bets on Duke to cover. The most tickets of any play in the Elite Eight was on UConn to cover. But, the second is Arizona, the third is Michigan, and the fourth is Illinois to cover in terms of tickets. So, I think what we've seen is the great teams they play pretty close for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But then around that 12-minute mark is when we really see the elite teams, the top-tier teams, Arizona, Michigan, even Illinois, UConn as well, against Michigan State, where they had the big lead, they blew it, and then they took control over it again. That's what we're seeing a lot of. And so you kind of – there's sweat. There is sweat to be had, but if you stick with it, usually you end up the last 3 minutes in pretty calm, cool, and collected waters, because some of these games, when you see the final score, it's not really indicative of the total game, because the last 6 minutes do get out of hand.
Even the biggest the source of entertainment in the first round, minus maybe Kentucky Santa Clara, but was Duke behind Siena, down until the last media timeout. I mean, I would even go further than that. It was like the last 8 minutes or so. And it's the Charlie Hannegriff tournament this year. He loves to say the game was too long for the dog. Well, it was. I mean, we've seen it over and over and over, Troy. There is no doubt. So, what are we looking at here? It seems like you've got the appetizer and the entree. Everybody is, we've done this before. Of course, Albuquerque was the biggest example when Louisville and Phi Samba Jama were the headline act there. And, underdogs, NC State and Georgia the year after Dominique Wilkins left Georgia to go play for the Hawks. And, well, we know what happened there. But it does seem like, everybody thinks the winner of the nightcap is going to win eventually in this whole thing. And we got one thing about it. We got some very tight lines here.
Yeah, we do. Illinois is minus 2.5 against UConn. The interesting thing, obviously, Illinois being the lowest seeded team. Granted, just one seed line. But this is the sixth instance in this tournament that the lower seeded team has been the favorite. And usually there are 4 or 5 matchups. 8-9 matchups, things like that. I think the only one was Tennessee in a 6-3 matchup over Virginia, and 4 of those 5 teams won. The only lower-seeded team that did not win as a favorite was Vanderbilt against Nebraska, and, I mean, you're talking a rotation around the cylinder away from winning that game.
Yeah.
Tough. I think UConn is certainly not as deep as Illinois. Both teams can struggle to shoot the ball. But I think Harris Reed is going to be a huge problem for Illinois, even though Illinois has so much size. One of the best interior defenses. Harris Reed has been a monster. I really think this game comes down to who's shooting better, because if Braylon Mullins had not been good this tournament up until that shot he hit. For me, it's going to be 3 points. I mean, what were they at halftime? Like 1 for 15. UConn was behind the arc. So whoever's shooting better in this game, I think will win. But if this is the appetizer, this is a 3-star or 5-star multi-Michelin restaurant appetizer you're getting, because this is as good of a game as we'll get. It's just that the one in the nightcap is the best game of the year.
Troy, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you on Friday when we will take a preview, a Longhorn preview at these 2 games. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Troy.
Thanks, guys.
We're brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, open in Rockport and LaRose. We're a week and change deep into spring, so if you're getting your yard and your property up to speed, your lawn and garden essentials, up to 65% off of a number of these things at the website, thethibodeaustore.com. From your potting soils to your seeders, your fertilizers, your lawn and garden tools, all of them with big savings right now at the website. Plus channel lock tools, up to 40% off on those. Patio furniture, outdoor cooking equipment, outdoor power equipment, all available right now at thethibodeaustore.com. And don't be afraid to ask for a little bit of help if you've got some do-it-yourself projects. The staffs at all of these stores very committed to helping you out so you don't waste time and you don't waste money. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierre Park, open daily in Thibodaux till 5:30. And if you're heading down to the coast to do some fishing, tons of fishing equipment available at the Thibodaux Store. And online, it's thethibodeaustore.com. Live at Big Mike's in Denham Springs, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The Pierre Part Store. And now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies.
Hey,
you know they can handle your contractor supplies for
Oh, when you do one and then it plays right after?
That's my fault. I didn't know it was on this thing.
deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Port. Top-notch tools and expert advice. It's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins. Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiola at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem. Whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozy Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports, and it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions, just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's. You know, the last time we were here, they were just getting ready to do their grand opening of the new Aspen Room here on the right side of the property. You can book the Aspen Room now for your parties, for your rehearsals, for baby showers, for birthday parties, anything. Newly renovated, looks fantastic, huge capacity. So get in touch with them here at Big Mike's and plan your next get together. Also, it's a pretty big facility here when we get into fantasy football drafts a little bit later on. Multiple places that you can do that here at Big Mike's, and also ball crawfish daily right now throughout the spring. So get your ball crawfish. It's a pretty big crawfish weekend, right?
It accounts for half the crawfish sales for the entire season this weekend.
Okay, yeah. Between Good Friday and Easter Sunday.
They start on Holy Thursday, Charlie.
Yeah, it's going to be, and we will be broadcasting on Friday. On Good Friday on the holiday.
I'm not sure that it's a holiday for some of our lineup, huh?
Yeah, I think that's right. I'll have to check on that. We're a few minutes away from the Will Wade press conference. We'll carry that at the top of the hour. Jimmy, anything you expecting out of him? I mean, if the
why the return? A lot of how tough it was for NC State, to leave. I mean, there had to be a level of appreciation. I know we're going to hear this again, the alignment, because he really went above and beyond handling his business the right way in Lake Charles. I mean, because some people were, taking some shots at McNeese and this and that, because Will was, everybody took shots at him. He cheated. No, he didn't cheat. He got caught. Okay, cheats. Everybody's cheating. Okay, he got caught. All right, and he paid the price for it. But, the alignment with all the administrators who have gone from Lake Charles to LSU, it's unusual, man. So he had to feel comfortable and have a lot of those pieces in place.
And I'm anxious to see, given what we saw at the airport on Friday, the emotion. Because he was clearly kind of emotional on Friday to come back here. Some unfinished business, if you will. We'll be back at the top of the hour, live at Big Mike's in Dennis Springs, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com. This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Your Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal...
Yes, sir.
Can you see the video of what's going on in there?
No, I just hear a bunch of talking in the background. Like, it's live, but they're not. It's just like a Will Wade's picture, and like you hear people, like the people there.
Okay, you're gonna have to cue me then when we come back.
What exactly do you want? Just a random, like, when they introduce like the
no,
people
when
beforehand?
when
does he get to the stage?
No, when whoever gets to the stage first, we'll take him.
And then you'll just like text me like, all right, we're gonna close it up after this, or
after the next question.
I mean, you can just talk. You can just talk on here.
We're gonna stay with it for a while. I mean, I don't have to dump out of it anytime soon.
Okay.
I'll
let you know when.
Let me know when I imagine Roos is going first. So when he goes up there, they may have Michael Bonnet or Kent Lowe introduce them, the SIDs, and then whenever the first guy gets up there, let me have it.
I got you.
Campbell or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Don't wait until it's 95 degrees and 100% humidity to worry about your AC. Go to emsair.net for Emerson Heating and Air today and get an AC tune-up. That's emsair.net for an Emerson professional to get your AC ready for summer.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And return here at Big Mike's on Monday nights. It's all you can eat boiled shrimp starting at 5 o'clock. We got boiled crawfish every Wednesday nights are dollar wings and lawn dancing on Wednesday nights. Live music every weekend here at Big Mike's. We're monitoring in the PMAC as soon as they go to the podium. We're going to go there for the introduction of Will Wade as LSU's new basketball coach, and we'll carry that press conference for you. So as soon as they go, Jordan's going to let us know, and we will go there.
Let me talk about our friends over at Total Maintenance again, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating companies since 1980. AC heating, generator installations, maintenance, service today, every day. It's getting warm, so nobody likes to go to – nobody should ever go to sleep when it's not working, man. You will never sleep hot. If you call today, you get service today at Total Maintenance, 480-1000, 480-1000.
43-year-old Will Wade, first head coaching job at Chattanooga, was there for 2 years. Won nearly 80% of his conference games in the Southern Conference, got promoted to VCU in the A-10 for 2015 through 2017, won 78% of his conference games, and took both of those teams into the NCAA tournament and won a game in his first season at VCU. 5 seasons.
He won a game in the tournament?
He did. They were around to 32, yeah. The 2016, 15-16, according to what I'm reading here, they made the round of 32.
So he's 4-8 in the league
that year.
I mean, in the tournament.
Okay. 5 years at LSU. His best season was 2019 when LSU went 25-5 overall and 16-2 in the Southeastern Conference. Won the league. Went to the Sweet 16 of the tournament. Wade was suspended for that. They lost to Michigan State after winning their first 2 games. The 2020 postseason was canceled because of COVID. They finished 21-10 that year, 12-6, and tied for second in the Southeastern Conference. They would have been, if I remember, they would have been like a 6 seed that year, probably something in that area, 5 or 6 seed. Maybe a 7 seed, somewhere in there. In the 20 season, they finished second in the league.
7.
About a 7.
We're projecting like a 7 seed.
In 21, they were 19-10, 11-6 in the league. They finished third in the Southeastern Conference, made the tournament, won a game, and then lost in the second round. That was the year they played the tournament all in Indiana at just a couple of sites. And in the 22 season, they were 21-11, 9-9. He did not finish out the regular season, but LSU made the tournament, lost to Iowa State in a round of 64. 2 years at McNeese, 50-9 overall, 36-2 in the Southland Conference, made the NCAA tournament both years, and beat Clemson in his second year in the first round of the tournament. And then this year at NC State, 20-14, 10-8 in the league. Made it into the NCAA tournament. They were in the first 4. So for his career, 266 and 119 for a winning percentage of 691. And in conference play, in all 3 of these stops before, or all 4 of these stops before NC State, a winning percentage in league play of no less than 78%. Taking this year out of it.
Yeah, that year they beat, they were 10 seed, beat number 7 seed, Oregon State 75-67. Oklahoma, who was on their way to the Final Four that year, they lost 85-81 in the second round.
So we'll see what we'll see what he's got to say. Like I said, I'm expecting a little bit of emotion here. Expecting I don't have any idea what kind of crowd they've got in there, but they're giving away shirts to the students. The first one was jubilant, wouldn't you say? The one at the student union. That's been almost 10 years ago.
Look, they didn't know Will Wade from the guy next to. They knew they were getting free hamburgers, and they were just excited to get it. I'm sorry. I mean, I remember what he talked about then. It's different now. He talked about that there's a lot of good basketball players in Louisiana. That ain't happening these days.
No,
you've documented that a lot.
Yeah, we had John Brady on Friday, and he says, look, I was blessed that the run of players here in the state were really good. He says that hasn't been the case. He also was talking about player budget. I said, look, they're expecting a player budget in the $12 to $13 million range. I said, what would you do with $12.5 million? He says, well, I think what had kind of hamstrung me, man. He says there wasn't an all-conference player here in the 4 years. There wasn't a player drafted in the 4 years that McMahon was here. He says, you got to go out. You got to have 2 or 3 pros. He says and a pro costs you $2 to $3 million. Okay, a pro. He says, you get 2. If you can get 3, get 3. He says, and then I'd probably take 2 high school kids, and then fill the rest of the roster out with what the funds I have left.
So that's the thing that Duke is going to have to do. They're just they're like Kentucky Calipari era sort of. They're so young, and that was some youth. That breakdown yesterday was youth. And not fully understanding that situation. It's also they had been in a whole lot of competitive games this year, but he talked about that, and he also talked about playing defenses. Is like 75% effort. I don't forget exactly the number he put on it, but he talked about that. So if you remember, they were taking over for Johnny Jones when they played 0 defense,
and Johnny's teams didn't completely fall off the cliff. I mean, until the last year. He was actually 8 games. It's easy to forget this now. Johnny had a winning record in the league by 8 games up until that last season. They had finished 9-9 2 years in a row, and they finished 11-7 2 years in a row. So let's go to the press conference now with the introduction of Will Wade.
Before we get started, kind of the format for today. LSU Vice President and Director of Athletics Verge Alsbury will come up. He'll make a few remarks at the podium. Then he'll bring up LSU President Dr. Roos. He'll make his remarks. And then Dr. Roos will introduce our new basketball coach, Will Wade. So media members, for those of you that have questions, we'll have a Q&A session. He probably is familiar with many of you guys. If you can introduce yourself and then ask a question. So at this point, I'd like to bring up Verge Alsbury.
What a great day to be a Tiger. Good morning, and thank you all for joining us on this historic arena for yet another remarkable day in the history of LSU. Thank you to Chairman Lee Mallett, the Board of Supervisors, and others for taking the time out of your day today. Your continued support of LSU athletics matters in so many ways, both big and small. I want to especially thank President Roos for your support in helping LSU bring Will Wade and his wife Lauren and daughter Carolyn back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. President Roos has been an incredible partner since I've been in this role, and we have been lockstep in every major decision. It makes the AD's job that much easier when there is alignment and support from the campus. I do want to acknowledge Matt McMahon for his years at LSU. Matt was always a great ambassador for our department and a role model for our student athletes. We thank Matt, and we wish him and his family the very best. There was only one coach we targeted, one coach who we spoke with, one coach who made sense at LSU, and we got him. I was fortunate. Yes, sir, you're correct. I was fortunate to be at LSU when Will first arrived. and I witnessed firsthand what he meant to LSU basketball and to our community. Yes, we won a lot, but it went so far beyond the victories. We helped galvanize the LSU community around men's basketball, and that had not happened for quite some time. He helped bring in new fans, new donors, and new attention to LSU. At LSU, we just believe in winning. We believe in building an entire culture of winning. We believe that success feeds off success. On this special campus, we think momentum builds with wins. Our coaches feel it, our athletes feel it, and our fans feel it. Winning is a powerful medicine. We have Kim Mulkey, we have Lane Kiffin, we have Jay Johnson. We have programs that are getting stronger all the time. And now we are bringing Will Wade home. What's that saying, strong hearts can't lose? That's what we have here across every building on campus, President Roos. I have no doubt that Coach Wade will once again have success in Baton Rouge. In this new era of college sports, he understands the ever-changing dynamics of talent recruitment and retainment, of player development, and the game of basketball. It takes a big personality to coach in the SEC, and especially under the spotlight at LSU. We want coaches who embrace the expectations and want them. Will is here for the challenge. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce my partner and LSU's leader, President Roos.
I want to start by dancing, but I'm going to save that because they tell me the media is here, so I'm not going to start off by dancing. But what an incredible day. What an incredible day to be a member of this LSU family. Thank you all for being here. We've got students here, faculty here, staff here, alumni here, fans, supporters, and everyone who loves this great university. Again, we thank you. Today is about energy. It's about belief. It is about what LSU can be when we align our ambition with the extraordinary strength of this amazing institution. Before I go any further, I want to thank our Board of Supervisors for their commitment to elevating every part of the LSU system, including our athletics programs. I want to thank our Chancellor of the flagship campus, Dr. Jim Dalton. He is in the trenches with me every day, working day and night, brainstorming as we navigate a new course for LSU. I want to thank our athletic director and vice president of athletics, Verge Osbury, for his partnership and his steady hand throughout this process and every day as we work to rebuild and reorganize our athletic department in a way that will drive our incredible global brand to entirely new heights. I want to offer a special thank you to Board of Supervisor Chairman Lee Mallett for his support for LSU, our team, and for allowing this special moment to happen today. Thank you, my friend. Let me also welcome Heath Schreier. Heath and I worked side by side with one another at McNeese. He helped build momentum, raise expectation, and strengthen an athletics department that ultimately helped to resurrect an entire regional university. Heath, I can tell you the scale here is much larger, the lights are a little brighter, but that means the rewards are even that much greater. Thank you, and we're grateful that you joined this team. And now, to Coach Will Wade. I had the opportunity to really get to know Will and his family during the time we spent together at McNeese. His loyalty. I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional, Coach, so I'm going to hold it together. His loyalty, complete buy-in to the vision of strategically using athletics to rebuild a hurricane-damaged university was inspirational. His competitiveness, his intensity, and his absolute refusal to think small was instrumental in any success we had and achieved at McNeese. He believes in building programs that expect to win. He believes in developing young men to become productive citizens of society. He understands organizational structure and chain of command. He believes that culture matters every single day. And when people talk about the alignment in college athletics, I have seen firsthand what that looks like when Will Wade is a part of it. The record speaks for itself. In his first go-around here at LSU, Coach Wade won 105 games, captured SEC regular season championship, took the Tigers to multiple NCAA tournaments. Then at McNeese, he turned that program into an immediate winner, back-to-back Southland regular season and tournament championships, 2 straight NCAA tournament appearances, and he was named Southland Conference Coach of the Year in both of those years. To say it mildly, Coach Wade has built teams that win at every level. But today is not just about celebrating the past. It is about embracing the future. We have been restructuring this amazing university to position ourselves so that our objectives are very clear. We are going to change the way we educate Louisiana. You may have heard me say we aim to be both elite and accessible. Those two things are not mutually exclusive, and we are putting the structure in place to accomplish both of those objectives. Make no mistake about it, our athletic department drives the brand recognition that illuminates the remarkable research and educational opportunities present throughout the entire LSU system. The ignition point for the entire process is athletics. It drives the brand. At LSU, we do not gather to celebrate mediocrity. We do not aim to simply be competitive. We aim to be elite. We want to win in this league. We want to hang banners in this building. We want to compete in March at its highest level. And yes, at LSU, we want to win national championships. That family is the standard, that is the expectation, and that is why we are here today. Coach, welcome home. Welcome back to Baton Rouge. Welcome back to the PMAC. Welcome back to the flagship university of the great state of Louisiana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium my friend, your coach, our general, Coach Will Wade.
Appreciate the warm welcome. I was joking with Kent this morning. They gave me the jersey with 26. I was seeing if I could get one that said 22/26 because I was 22, 2 interim coaches, full-time head coach, and 26. So I didn't know if they were going to put that on the jersey, but we'll just take 26. Take 26 for now. So, hey, look, very excited to be here. Great to see so many familiar faces. Great to have our students here, a lot of our alums, family, friends, supporters. Look, this is deeply personal for me to be back here and to celebrate with all you guys here today. I can't even express in words what Dr. Roos and just the administration, everybody has meant to me. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be back with my wife and my daughter. My daughter's a little taller now. You know, they've been the foundation through the highs and lows, Caroline and Lauren, that we've been through. They keep me smiling, keep me grounded, remind me of what matters in life. And so these two have sacrificed a lot for us to be here today. They sacrificed a ton. So I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for being here. There's too many people to thank for making this happen. There's just a ton of folks involved to make this happen. I want to first off thank our governor, Jeff Landry. I want to thank our wonderful LSU board, many of who are here today, and our great chairman, Lee Mallett. I want to thank Dr. Roos, who I've worked with before. We're going to work well together again, get that alignment. We've got Heath Schroyer here, same chain of command as Doc likes to say. And certainly our wonderful athletic administration and everybody involved in the athletic administration. Their belief in me and the belief in me that this is the right time to come home will never be forgotten. And make no mistake, this is home. I wasn't born in Louisiana, but Louisiana's home for me and me and my family. And so, you know, we're coming back to make history. We're going to make history one way or the other. We're coming back, like Dr. Roos said, to try to hang a banner, win a national championship, or I'm going to be the first coach fired from the same school twice. But one way or another, we're going to make history. And it's going to be a fun ride, one way or the other. Ain't no doubt about that. But we're very, very excited to be back. And look, these last 4 years, you're not getting the same coach you had 4 years ago. These last 4 years have humbled and changed me. You're getting a better coach, a better leader this time around. Now, I got the same urgency, I got the same fight, same feisty guy that you always know, but we're going to be better. And I want everybody to know with LSU basketball, like, our time is now with LSU basketball. I didn't come here to reflect and talk about the past and any of that stuff. I came here to win, and we're going to win immediately. LSU and Louisiana deserves a winner, and that's what we're going to deliver, and we're going to deliver that in short order. Listen, everybody has this notion, like, LSU basketball is not meant to be average, mediocre, or pretty good. You can throw that stuff out. That's not who we are. This program's meant to be great. This program's meant to compete at the highest levels of college basketball, night in and night out. And as we say down here, it just means more. And that highly competitive winning program, I know what that program looks like. I've seen it, I lived it, and I know how to build it the right way. We're going to be rooted in aggression. We're going to be rooted in toughness. We're going to be rooted in discipline. And we're going to recruit competitors that want to play that way. We're going to recruit competitors that understand what it means to put those three letters across your chest every day. You won't find anybody that's more proud to wear that LSU and State of Louisiana than this guy right here. And we're going to find 15 players that are willing to lay it on the line for us every night. You know, our first time here, we had some top 10 offenses. We had some top 10 defense. Well, one top 10 defense. We're more offensive oriented, but we were a little bit all over the place. But now I know the formula, and we're going to come back. We're going to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense at the same time, which will allow us to compete at the level that we want to compete at. Defensively, we're going to be disruptive. We're going to play aggressive defensively and be disruptive. Offensively, we're going to be relentless, attacking the paint, attacking the rim. Then we're going to have the details and discipline with our special teams, all right? We're going to build a winning program, and we're going to build this thing quick. This is not something that's going to take long. We're going to get in that portal when it opens next Monday, and we're going to put together a winner because everybody in here deserves a winner. To all our students, to all our fans, I remember this building when it was rocking. That Tennessee game, the year we won the SEC, I don't know if I've ever heard anything so loud in my life. The energy and the pride and how hard it is to play here when LSU basketball is unmatched anywhere in the country. And we're going to give you a team that you can be proud of and that we can pack the PMAC every night. We're going to be a team that plays extremely hard, that competes on every possession. All right? Our team's going to represent Louisiana the way it should be represented, with toughness, grit, and a lot of swagger, because that's what we have down here. All right? We don't do anything halfway in this state. We don't do anything halfway in this state. We're going to go all in, and we're going to get this basketball program right where it needs to be. And look, I know we've taken some, I know people have been talking about us a little bit. I understand I'm not for everybody. And we understand also that LSU isn't for everybody. But one thing we both understand is I'm for LSU and LSU's for me. And make no mistake about that. And this isn't about me. I'm just the caretaker of the program. This is about LSU and building something special and something that lasts, that's a sense of pride for our school, our state, our fans, and all of our people. And so we have a lot of work to do, but I promise you we're going to get this program back to the NCAA tournament and back to the top of the SEC in short order. And I'm honored to be your coach and represent this state and this great school. It's the honor of a lifetime to be back. You never get second chances in life, but we get one here, and we're going to make this better than the first time. So with that, I appreciate everybody. It's great to be home. And for the first time of many times, boot up! LSU, LSU. All right, now we got questions? All right, here we go.
Yeah, Will, over here to your left.
What's up, Cobble?
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV. Good to see you back. Just, did you ever think this was possible? And then what did you learn from that first go-around that you want to employ here the second time around?
Did I think this was possible? I mean, I guess you never count anything out in life. But when we left here, we never thought we'd be back. No, I wouldn't say I thought it was possible. I mean, look, Kent would probably know it's probably the first time in college basketball this has ever happened. But hey, we like to do a lot of firsts down here, so it's appropriate. But look, I learned the first time, I have a familiarity with the SEC. The first year it took some getting used to. The SEC's gotten even better. We've done some studies on it the last couple of days to make sure that we're prepared and understand what we need to compete. But, part of it when you're at a school like LSU, you're in Louisiana, a lot of it's getting to know the people, getting to know the overall structure, and that's where we're just way ahead. It took us probably 18 months to learn everything the first time, and now we're just we're hitting the ground running. Here's the keys to the Ferrari, drive it fast. And so we're going straight down the road, and we won't have the learning curve that we had that first time.
Jim Gazzolo, American Press. How you doing, Coach?
Good to see you, Jim.
It's good to see you. Question for you is, us standing here now today, how much is that based on the fact that you have trust in the 2 years you were with Dr. Roos and Heath?
A lot of it. Look, we had incredible alignment. The way I look at this is what we had at McNeese, we did it on a regional scale. We can take that same formula with more resources and more support, just because of the financial aspect of it all, and we can take that formula that made McNeese a regional power and won a first-round NCAA tournament game, and we can take that and move that to LSU, and we can make us a national force. And I have deep belief in that, and that's the reason I'm here. We didn't come here, like I said, this isn't about nostalgia. This is a great fit. This is the best university for me to coach at. I believe I'm the best coach for this university in men's basketball, and we're going to go test that theory, and we're going to prove ourselves right.
Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV here in Baton Rouge. Coach, good to see you. Some fans have questioned LSU's commitment to men's basketball over the years. How much do they care about it? Where do you feel LSU's commitment is to this program, getting you a roster, this talk of a new facility, so forth?
I wouldn't be standing here if we weren't committed. Like I said, we came back to win, and we've got tremendous administration. We've got tremendous people, and we're going to win, and we've got the resources that we need to compete in the SEC. And at the end of the day, that's all we can ask. Then it's on me to get the job done. It's on me to make it happen. But I'm very comfortable after our conversations with everybody that we've got the resources that we're going to need to compete in the SEC, and I'm excited to make it happen.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Thank you for that. We'll use that on the
Thought I
radio
forgot.
today. No, of course I know you didn't forget. Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge. Since you're talking resources, did you have a conversation with anyone within the administration about roster budget, what you would need, and what do you think it takes to be able to succeed and win championships, roster budget-wise?
Look, we've had some conversations. I'm not going to share that, but I mean, this is LSU, and Heath, Verge, Heath, everybody, Dr. Roos, everybody. Look, Coach, go build a roster that'll help us compete. We've never put a number on it. We've put a roster that's going to help us win and help us compete, and whatever that number is. I mean, look, the first year it is going to be a little bit higher. The portals, I mean, we're going to have to go get a bunch of new players, and the new players and the good players cost. They ain't cheap. And so, look, the first year it will be high, but once you get them in and you can retain them and you get them, retaining guys is a lot easier than going to get them. So the first year, yeah, there may be some sticker shock, but we've got a good plan, and there hasn't been a number put to it. It's not like this is what you're going to spend. It's spend till you feel like you have a good enough team to compete in the SEC. And at the end of the day, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to put together a roster that everybody in this arena and everybody who's watching, and every person across this state will be very, very excited about, and that can compete, in the top part of the SEC.
John Higgins, Shreveport Bossier Journal. Will, you've won everywhere you've been. You've had a winning record every year. This is the only place where it didn't end the way you wanted to. Over the years, have you thought
There'll be
about
some
that?
arguments on that right now, Ron.
Yeah, have you thought about over the years, maybe in the back of your mind, I'd love to just go back there and, finish what I started, get it right. I mean, and I know you live in the present all the time with your jobs, but did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't like to leave something. I thought we were just getting rolling. And, we had, look, the last couple years here, we had some restrictions on us, which made it a little bit tougher, but we were still winning. We were still winning. I'm not saying, we rightfully had restrictions on us. I'm not saying we didn't. But it made it tough to win, but we were still winning at a pretty good clip, and we were probably functioning at 60% of our program. Of how we needed to function. So there's always part of it. We had a great recruiting class. We had a kid who was drafted and a one and done, signed with us. You always wonder, what might have been, what could have been, and could we have kept it, could we have really kicked it back up and kept it going? But I look at it like this, I think we got a fresh start now. We've got a new start, and I think that we've got everything in place to win that maybe wouldn't have been in place had I stayed. And so I was fortunate. 2 of the best years of my life were at McNeese, to make the impact on the community. And we've got a lot of folks from Southwest Louisiana. We got our entire delegation from Southwest Louisiana here today, our state senators and state reps and everybody. And so I wouldn't have been able to make that impact. And I think that being able to do that has helped me grow and helped me be better. And I'm excited to be back and finish what we started. I do feel like there's some unfinished business here. I feel like that we were just on the cusp of really breaking through, and now we're going to start at a quicker point. It's not going to take us 5 years to get to that point now. All right, we're going to start at a much earlier point, and I feel like that it'll be a fun ride. Always is. We don't lack for action.
Hey, Will, Glenn West, 24/7 Sports. Just, you mentioned you spent the last several days just kind of reteaching yourself or relearning about how you want to win in this conference. And I'm just curious if there's maybe a couple big bullet points, a couple must-haves for you guys to be able to consistently win in this conference going forward. Well,
I mean, the first thing you got to have is you got to have good players. I mean, look, it's the horse, it's not the jockey, right? So you got to have the right players. We got to get really good athletes. We understand, when we're looking at transfer kids, we understand specifically what translates to the SEC from the portal and what translates at each position. from the portal, and so we know what we got to go get, and we're gonna go recruit those guys and get those guys. But look, SEC is a tough neighborhood. I mean, there's no question about that. It's a tough neighborhood, but we're going to build a team that's ready to go into that tough neighborhood, and you got to have some toughness to you. You got to have some grit, and so that's what we're going to go look for in the portal and look for in recruiting.
Hi, Toy Lloyd, TJ Brown, The Advocate. When did the process of leaving NC State and coming to LSU start? And a second part, just is there any regrets on how that process of leaving to come here? Any regrets on how that happened?
Look, we have a familiarity with everybody. I worked with Verge before. I worked with Dr. Roos before. I've worked with Heath before. So, I mean, there wasn't some formal interview process or I mean, we all know each other. We've all known each other, for a long, for a long time. So, really, what's today? Monday. I really pretty much kicked into gear on Wednesday of last week. I mean, that was pretty much when first contact was made, and that was when the process started. But because of everybody's familiarity with with each other, it moved pretty quick.
Jim again. Two things, Coach. Really, thanks for that. Two quick questions for you. One is, you talked a lot about when you were at McNeese about how you were kind of humbled, and then you had the long bus rides and that. How much did you change as a coach, and did you find your love of basketball again? And the second one is, McNeese could be a quad one next year. Are you going to go play there?
Bill must have planted you for that second question. So Bill and I will discuss that. We'll discuss that. But, I mean, look, when you go back and you go from, look, our players are treated tremendously here. We charter everywhere. We fly everywhere. I mean, you eat every meal like it's the last meal. And so it's great. And then you go from that to eating, the free breakfast at the hotel at McNeese. It's a big deal. You're staying at the La Quinta and making your own waffle with the state of Texas on it up there. It's a different deal for sure. But look, I say this. I'll say this, and I've said this. I've actually talked to some other folks who did. There's a lot of coaches that can go from mid-major to high major. There's a lot of good mid-major coaches that can go up to high major, and have very few coaches can go from high major back down to mid-major, and want to once you I mean, this is a good life. Once you get that good life, it's tough. And McNeese, look, we were resourced at the top of the league. I mean, we were great compared to some of our competitors. But I think that it puts everything in perspective for you. It makes you understand why you got into coaching. There's some positives to it too. You get to spend a ton of time on the bus. You spend a lot more time around the players. You get to build a lot better relationships with the players. You're sitting in a commercial airport flying all over the country in your non-conference, and so there's some positive to that as well. But it was certainly a wonderful experience, a very, very rewarding experience. And look, there's no bigger McNeese basketball fan than this guy sitting up here right now. So I was thrilled that we've kept it going, and we're going to keep it moving, and I'll get back to you on the game.
Hey, well, with the portal opening in a week, do you plan to have a staff in place before the portal opens? And then if you would, maybe walk us through your timeline of hiring a staff, evaluating the current roster, evaluating portal, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have, I plan on, look, staffs have gotten so big now. We're not going to have the biggest staff in the world. I want to have 100 people running around and walking on top of each other. But we're going to have our shell recruiting staff in place here in the next, hopefully by the first of next week. I would think we'll have 2 to 3 assistants, and then we're going to leave a couple spots open and work through that as we move forward. But we'll have 2 or 3 folks in here. We'll run a tight recruiting. Look, the recruiting, I'm not a guy. I've done this at other places. Like in college, it's a little different in the NBA. Like I'm the head coach and the general manager. Like there's no you don't have to have all this other stuff. Like the decisions on the roster are ultimately going to come down to me. Now I'll get input from everybody else, but it's going to be me. I mean, that's my job as a head coach. They're not paying me all that money to have other people make decisions on things. And so, I think that I'm going to have a heavy hand in what we're doing and deciding who we take and what we do. But we'll have 2 or 3 assistants in here to help me, and then 6 weeks after that, we'll pick up the rest of the guys. So, but we're not in any rush on that. I mean, one thing Verge talked about. I mean, look, everybody wants to be at LSU. We've got, I mean, my phone, I had 182 text messages the other day just on staff stuff, people wanting to join the staff. So, I mean, look, this is an unbelievable brand and a place that everybody wants to be. And so we'll have no shortage of putting together the right staff.
Hey, Coach, Noah Tingle, Tingle & Co. The phrase "just different" has been thrown around a lot when it comes to LSU athletics, and obviously with your return. What is it about LSU, the city of Baton Rouge, or the state of Louisiana that makes it different?
I think the number one thing is the people. We got the best people in the world in the state, at LSU, and we have incredible people. And I think unless you're from down here, or unless you've been down here, it's hard for other people to understand. It's hard for other people to grasp, just the culture and the folks down here. And that's what draws you back every time. So it draws you back every time. And so I think we've got incredible people and incredible alignment at our university right now.
The current roster, have you met with them, plan to meet with them? Kind of take us through that.
Yeah, I've met with, I've had some one-on-one meetings with, I don't know, 5 or 6 of the guys. I mean, look, we had a lot of seniors last year. So there's quite a few guys who can't come back. But I've met with 5 or 6 of the guys that are in town. We've spoken, and we want anybody at LSU that wants to be at LSU. If you want to be here, we want you here. I've talked to all of them about, Skylar Mays. We inherited him the first time we were here from Coach Jones. And Skylar turned out, now he was a freshman going into a sophomore year. He turned out to be a tremendous player for us, got drafted and played in the NBA. And we want folks that, like I said, are excited about LSU. And so we've had those conversations. Those conversations will continue, and we're going to support the guys whatever they want to do. If they want to stay here at LSU, we're going to support them and find a role for them. And if they want to go somewhere else, that's certainly we're going to support them in that as well. But we have had those conversations. We've met. I didn't really do a team meeting. We've met more one-on-one and one-on-one settings over the weekend. And so we'll continue those discussions and see where those fall.
Chastity Uber with News 6 Media. 1, welcome back. 2, what do you think will be different this time around than the last time when you were here?
Yeah, man, I think this time, like I said, I just have more familiarity this time with everything that's going on, and there's not as much of a learning curve this time around, and so we should be able to hit the ground running and move a little bit quicker.
Just to circle back to my second part, my last question, is there any regret in how you left NC State? And I guess, what's your opinion on, the perception of how you left being a little bit of a villain in college basketball?
I'm sorry, how I left, and then what was the last part?
Is there any regret in the way that you left NC State, as well as what is your opinion on the perception building about being a quote-unquote villain?
Well, I long ago quit worrying about my perception. So that part doesn't bother me too much. Look, here's what I'm going to say. I'd like to focus more on what's going on at LSU. NC State was great to me. I think some of the things have been mischaracterized on how I left, but I'm not going to get into I learned long ago, I'm not going to get into a back and forth on all of that. The people who need to know. And look, everybody has to, when there's a situation like this, everybody has to cover has to cover. Let's put it that way. And so I'm at peace with how I left. I'm at peace with what we did. And look, I mean, they're pretty mad for a coach they didn't think was very good. So I don't That's the way it goes. But look, I wish NC State nothing but the best. I built some great relationships there. I had a very good relationship with Boo Corrigan, the AD, and I understand they've hired Justin Gainey, a former player, and I hope they do great, and wish them nothing but success. All right. That's it? I like it.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits.
Wait, Hanny?
Yeah.
So what's the solution, Cade? Okay, so what do you want to do? Just come in real quick, then can we skip one?
Yeah, we'll take it to the end of the show, and we'll have missed 2. So
okay. So you want?
Yeah.
Okay, so skip
so we'll take this to 55 when we come back,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
Oh, so we might as well do the promo then right now. Then we might as well do the promo.
Yeah, I can do the promo.
Okay. All right. It's rolling.
Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in Mid-City. We'll have reaction to Will Wade's hiring at LSU. We do first class, second class, no class. Live at Lunch on Tuesday, 11 a.m. from Doe's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Doe's Eat Place. Steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today, and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU. 1950, Phil's Oyster Bar started on Government Street. The Gus Piazza took over in the 70s, and now his son Anthony has taken it to another level at the current location in South Downs. It's always been a Baton Rouge landmark. Seafood, oysters, po' boys, burgers, and more, all served up in an atmosphere full of sports nostalgia and tons of TVs to catch all the games. Seafood gumbo, crawfish cheesecake, or my favorite, the meatball quesadilla to start. Check out dinner and bar specials at philsoysterbar.com. You know we bleed purple and gold at Phil's Oyster Bar in the South Downs Shopping Center. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. A kid's menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number.
All right, that's good. I'm about to say it just cut off, and I was like, "Oh Lord, what happened now?" So that's good.
To discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Big Mike's Sports Bar and Grill in Denham Springs on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Very enthusiastic Will Wade coming back, saying he's been humbled and changed, and figures that they will be very aggressive, attack the portal, pack the PMAC, and are out to win and win very, very quickly. So that's what we heard the first time that he came here. Minus the portal stuff.
It's a whole different feel.
It's a different,
yes,
absolutely.
Indeed. No, he knows he's got things he's talked about. Said you hear this LSU's narrative. LSU hoops is built to be average, built to be mediocre. No, he knows he's got these people who have been a part of basketball promoting their school, and there's no learning curve anymore. So. It's
I'll cop to that. We've said that on this show
over and over.
That they have tried to be.
Administration has done everything to remind us of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the athletic director who introduced him today was, he was telling us 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5, whatever it was, that you can't win in everything. When asked about men's basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
2 of the last 3 coaches, prior to, this, they've allowed 2 coaches to go to sleep on the job here. And so, yes, we have a time. Yeah. And just like when we met with him the first time, I was like, hey, listen, double the wins, get to 4. No, I'm not here to win 4. I'm not here to win 6. I'm here to win big. And last time, he won an SEC championship. He got him into the tournament every year. I have no doubt that he'll hit the ground running and he'll be competitive really quick.
I thought it was cool that he said, he said it's going to be a quicker start next time. There's no learning curve, but he said that things are in place. They asked him about, he was like, man, I thought we were just getting going. But he said things are in place now that weren't necessarily in place before when he did leave. And so his roundabout way, he's back where he wants to be. There's more support. Administrative support, Charlie.
Yeah.
More support to go and do it. And he also said, look, the league's tougher now. There's no doubt when he left, and we know that.
There's so many differences. I mean, if you left 4 years ago in Canada, I would say this with the baseball stuff.
Jeez.
Man, how much has the landscape of college athletics changed in the last 4 years? When he was here the first time, the transfer portal wasn't in place the way it is now without having to sit out. There was no rev share. There was no NIL. The last 4
years ago, he's probably not coming back. From 1 year at NC State, where the SEC has distanced themselves from the ACC even more, where the player money and that player budget is dependent on the football money and some others. No, Charlie, he had a tough decision to begin with anyway. I mean, if there wasn't several pieces into place, I mean, he did say, I think a little bit of a because we all heard Boo Kerrigan, talk about his, and everybody's been on. He says everybody's going to cover, kind of deal. But he doesn't want to go back and forth on that. But no, man, and listen, he's talked about no excuse. There's no reason to have excuses for not competing at the highest level.
I want to thank
my man Roos. He's
pretty excited.
He's a good hell leader, huh?
He was pretty excited. He was pretty excited. Thanks to the folks here at Big Mike's for being our host. We love coming over here in Denham Springs. Check out the new Aspen Room for all of your receptions, parties, get-togethers, available for rental right now. It's a beautifully new renovated facility here at Big Mike's that's available for you. Crawfish every day, including at lunchtime, 7 days a week right now here at Big Mike's. Live music every weekend. Plus, we got all-you-can-eat ball shrimp every Monday night starting at 5 o'clock. Dollar Wings on Wednesday night. Happy hour from 3 until 7, Monday through Friday with $2.50 domestic beers, both bottled and draft. $4 wells and $5 wines. Those are good. Prices are good on Sundays starting at 11 a.m. all day. Come on here in the sports bar at Big Mike's and watch all day on Sunday. You're going to enjoy a wonderful little neighborhood bar here in Denham Springs. Thanks to Big Mike and all of his staff here, always wonderful to us. Tomorrow we're at Doe's Eat Place. For Jimmy, for Jordan, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At lunch.
Congratulations are in order for